Hello again, everybody. I'm Chris Berman. We, of course, are at halftime of our USFL game between Los Angeles and Orlando. And as is our custom on Friday nights, we take a look at the weekly stat leaders. In other words, going back to week 17 of the USFL, and take a guess who is the weekly rushing leader. You're right. The guy's name is Herschel Walker for New Jersey. Now, the great rushers can turn losses like this one into gains. Even though it'll only show a 4-yard gain in the stat sheet, the Generals know how important that run was as the Generals tried to beat Oakland, however, unsuccessfully. This is Walker running up the middle, and then Herschel gets the pitch. He'll run for about 15 yards. Another day at the office for Herschel Walker. In other words, another day of over 200 yards, 209 to be exact, averaging 8 yards a carry, including a TD. Lewis Jackson of the Breakers had 129 yards. Reggie Brown of Arizona had 99 to be your rushing leaders on the week. In passing, Jim Kelly may be hurt, but Todd Dillon is not. He has stepped in for the Houston Gamblers, led them to a big win over San Antonio. 36-yard touchdown strike to Ricky Sanders right here. Now, Dillon wasn't done there. No, sir. Goes back to pass, looks for Clarence Verdun. Same result, 6 points. Nice catch there in the corner of the end zone. Dillon would not be done, even though Verdun was pretty pleased with the fancy footwork there. Dillon to Richard Johnson over the middle, another touchdown. And all, Dillon was marvelous. 4 touchdown passes, 25 of 33, a 365-yard day. Matt Robinson had a nice day for Portland, throwing for over 300 yards. Rick Neuheisel in that same game as Dillon at 297. As for receiving, we go to the Denver Gold, look for Mark Lewis. He and Bob Galliano hooked up 7 times. Here's a nice pass across the middle against Portland. Then Galliano will run and shoot to Lewis, who is wide open in the Portland secondary. And then they hook up for their big gainer on the day. Galliano back to pass. Lewis evades the secondary once again. And he will haul this one in 69 yards in all. They rule that he just stepped out of bounds before he could get into pay dirt. But Mark Lewis, 7 catches, 177 yards for an average of over 25. Ron Johnson in the same game had a good one for Portland, averaging almost 30 yards a catch. Jim Smith caught 11 balls on the week for Birmingham. Week 18 in the USFL has only just begun. We have live games Saturday and Monday for you as well. Our Saturday game, the Arizona Outlaws at the Memphis Showboats. Now, Arizona would like to even up their mark at 9-9. This is a team that was on the brink of disaster for a while, but they won for the 3rd straight time last week against LA. Now, when talking about the Arizona Outlaws, you have to worry about their passing combination of Doug Williams to Al Williams. And also, you have to worry about the Outlaws on the ground. Reggie Brown, the hard runner who went over 1,000 yards last Sunday against the Express, must be watched. However, the Memphis Showboats have a good ball club. Last week, Mike Kelly got things started, and as they creamed Jacksonville 31-0, Kelly going into the end zone. Of course, the Showboats already have a playoff spot locked up, but they want to have momentum going into the playoffs. Last week, Derek Crawford, a nifty punt return, netted Memphis 6 points. Now, the Memphis fans think their team can go all the way, and if the defense keeps coming up with the timely turnovers and they get plays on the special teams like this, maybe they're right. That game coming up Saturday night, Arizona against Memphis, live at 8 Eastern, 5 o'clock on the West Coast. Monday night on ESPN, we wrap up our live USFL coverage for another year as the Oakland Invaders take on the Houston Gamblers. The Invaders come in as the USFL's Western Conference champions after last week's win over the Generals. Running back John Williams was a key in that game, helping the Oakland Invaders to a win with 2 TD runs, and also safety Vito McKeever added to the victory with an 85-yard interception return. Quarterback Bobby Hebert, of course, also has plenty to do with the success of the Oakland Invaders. He's been hot and cold, but if he's hot, watching plays like this one by the defense ought to spur him on. Could be a long night for Houston. The Gamblers got back on the winning track last week, beating San Antonio to clinch a playoff spot. Quarterback Todd Dillon had a great night, running for a TD, hitting wide receiver Ricky Sanders for 2 more. It wasn't only offense for Houston. The Gamblers' defense, which leads the USFL in interceptions, will add to the total. And why not? They're spurred on by plays by the offense. Here's the interception. Luther Bradley with the bingo. He could go all the way, and he does for a score. The Gamblers want to keep that momentum going Monday against the Invaders. So 2 very good teams coming to you Monday night. Oakland against Houston, live at 8 Eastern time, 5 o'clock on the West Coast.